We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
Everybody, welcome to another episode. Joe, how are you doing?
I am doing surprisingly well. I don't know why. That's just what I felt like saying. So there you go.
Listen, I texted you while I was watching these episodes because
you were unwell.
I'm just ready for this season to be done. Like it's just nonsense. But let's just dive right in. So early on in the show, Julie Cooper says to Marissa, "Us Cooper women have 9 lives," which is an insane line given that I know what's going to happen in about 3 episodes from now.
Us Cooper women got 9 lives. Apparently, Melissa's used her 9th one.
Yeah. Marissa's on number 8 as we speak.
Wait, hold on. Can we count out how many times Marissa's escaped death? Mexico, the fire of the model home.
The fire of the model home. Let's see.
Teresa. Teresa round 1.
Trey.
Oh, fuck. Round 2. That's 4. Okay, we got 5 more.
I think it's. I think if you really looked at it, she probably has been in peril 8 times. I wrote this long sentence down. I'm going to just read it, and then we can dive into this. But I said, is Marissa's takeaway from Sound of Music the type of life that she wants to have? And then I wrote, additionally, she doesn't owe this guy anything explanation-wise. Like, why is she even humoring this? But yeah, she's like, you ever see the movie Sound of Music? Like, the one daughter was just so cute, and she had this, like, perfect boyfriend and this perfect life. And I'm like... Bitch, that is a musical about Nazis.
I was like yeah. So what you're saying is that Volchek's the Nazi in this one?
So you're really like missing the message of that movie.
Yeah, you'll never be one of them, Ralph.
And
Ralph or whatever the fuck his name is.
But then I also wrote like, why lie? Like he's like, why wouldn't you date me? And she's like, well, you know, I'm not ready to give up that Sound of Music. Like, just be like, motherfucker, I saw your friends giving roofies to a girl and I don't want to be a part of that life. Like,
yeah,
what is this like? Oh, I just, you know, I'm not ready to give up on a happily ever after, which is also not much of a like a comforting sentence. It's like, you're the guy I settle for when all the shit breaks down. Like, it's so the whole
You're
Marissa,
a distraction.
Yeah, the whole Marissa subplot is pretty rough. All of it's really rough, actually. I'm looking at this because the Marissa subplot is basically break up with Volchek, go to college, feels like she doesn't belong in college, get back with Volchek. That is her entire character arc over 42 minutes. Summer's very brief story arc is this dummy is not going to survive Brown. Because like she's like caught in a conversation with 2 like genuine intellectuals, and I think they're talking about jihads, and she says like, what even is a jihad? And they're just like, oh, way to rephrase the questions. Like And it was like, there's no, I'm not buying that this is how she's going to survive 4 years at Brown, is just by like lackadaisically dumbing her way through classes by being seen as a genius.
Also, we're what, 2005, 2006 at this point? We've like,
yeah, you know what that word means.
Like,
yeah,
yeah, like come on, girl, you were there. You remember 9/11. Like,
yeah. Not enough time has passed to have forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we were definitely not forgetting, right?
No.
Like,
Marissa does have one good line where she's talking with, I never even wrote this character's name down. It was like Ryan's designated buddy.
oh yeah, Ryan's buddy, the blonde guy.
Yeah.
He's also, he has been in a ton of stuff too.
He
I don't know.
looked weirdly familiar and I couldn't place it. And also, this is going to sound terrible, I thought that he was going to roofie her.
Oh, no.
Like, there's this shot of him, like, right before he goes to talk to Marissa where he's, like, pouring drinks for her. And I literally what my thought was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like, she goes to this college, she thinks it's a new future, she gets roofied at a party and walks away with being like, even college, these guys are douchebags, so why don't I just stay with the familiar douchebag? Like, that at least would, like, make some type of narrative sense to Marissa going back to Volchek. But instead, she just has, like, a genuine heart-to-heart with this guy and decides, like, nope, this isn't the life for me.
Yeah.
Like, she talks about her past, and there is one funny line where she says, my dad lost all of his hair and the horse lost... Or my dad lost all of his money and the horse lost all of its hair. She's describing how her life...
Oh, China.
got all crazy.
China's got alopecia.
But the main story, well, actually, there's one more thing I want to just call to attention because it's kind of a minor storyline in this episode, builds to a much bigger thing, is the Sandy Kirsten stuff. I hate this storyline so fucking much. Like, every aspect about it, like that speech, Kirsten relapsing because of the dinner part, like all of it is just like... so heavy-handed, so stupid, so like...
We don't need this. We didn't ask for this. What is the point? And the thing is, too, is that, like, it's noticeable since... from the moment Sandy finds the documents, right, at the back of the car, and then I already forgot his name. What was his name? His young assistant? Matt, yes, thank you. Like, I was like, Graham? So Grant, one, like, generic white man name. He just becomes like so he's so like tight-lipped. Like, you don't get quippy Sandy anymore.
Well, this is my thought through this episode and the episode we have to talk about next week. And I think I wrote it down for last week's episode, but it still stands with this one. This whole season, especially these last like 10 episodes, has just been like character assassination to every single character. None of their motivations make sense. None of their decision making makes sense. Like, it really just feels like a giant, like, we've run out of ways to create drama with the natural characters, so we're just going to change who these characters are to justify the drama that we want. Like, it's and it's just painful to watch. So the last two stories that we have to make sure that we discuss here is the Ryan storyline and the Seth storyline. And I think we can cover the Ryan one quicker. The Ryan story is that finally, after almost 2 years, the Teresa stuff comes back up.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah, I guess I guess it wasn't a series wrap on the baby.
No, but were you surprised?
I genuinely thought that they were just like, well, we don't need to follow up on that storyline. Like, there was a part of me that genuinely thought that they had moved past it. I think I mentioned this a week ago, but I'm watching Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
And there is this subplot that shows up in the third or fourth episode where one of the townsfolk basically bribes a really talented kid who lost his home in Katrina to relocate to their school
town,
so that he can become the quarterback. And the coach finds out about it after the fact and like doesn't like the kid and constantly benches the kid and doesn't let the kid play any games. So the kid gets pissed off and leaves. but when he leaves, literally the end of the episode is like, yeah, man, that kid just told all the newspapers about how we bribed him, and like we're going to be in deep water, right? That was like the end of episode 3. I'm on episode 14 of this season, and they have not brought up this kid in that lawsuit once since that episode ending, which like to me means either like it shows up at the very tail end of this season, or they just were like, well, we really don't have a good way to get out of this one, so we're just going to hope that the audience forgets that it happened.
Yeah.
And I genuinely thought that they were going to just like hope the audience forgot that Teresa existed and that there was this baby until this very moment. I don't know. I looked at that baby. That baby is not Eddie's. I don't care what she says. She says that she's got the paternity. Baby. Yeah, she's like, I got the paternity test to prove it. And I'm like, how? Do you? Like, there's like, I'm assuming that this is the end of the conversation, that it's never brought up again. But there's no fucking way you can convince me that that's not Ryan's kid.
Yeah.
This little blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby is supposed to be from fucking Teresa and Eddie.
Assuming that Eddie dyes his hair and is wearing contacts.
Yeah, it's just none of it makes sense. But that's basically the story, is like Ryan. I loved watching Ryan fit in and excel in college up until the very second that Marissa shows up and that Kirsten tells him about Teresa. And I'm hoping, I don't know what to I don't know what to expect from season 4, because what I'm hoping, the logical next step is that, like, yes, Marissa is going to die. I know this has been spoiled for me. I have no clue where they go from that. That is like the last major. The only other spoiler I have is that Chris Pratt is somehow involved in season 4. Like, but to me, I'm just like, if they use Marissa's death to keep Ryan from going to college, which in my mind has literally been endgame for that character from episode 1, is Cohen's take in this kid to give him an actual chance to do something with how smart he is. And it's that he doesn't go to college because an obnoxious, rich, spoiled girl that lived next door to him dies. I will officially write off this whole show. I'll be like, this show is garbage and trash and fuck it.
I mean, okay, hold on. First of all, God, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but like in the context of the show, Matt, it's his one true love, the torturedness of the love.
I've seen none of that love, Joe. I've watched 3 full seasons and have not once been like, aw. Similar to the whole Seth and Summer are destined to be together. They are a terrible couple, which is only highlighted more in this episode when Anne comes back, and you're just like, this feels more natural as a couple to me, is the Seth and Anne relationship than Seth and Summer have ever felt. Like,
but that's always been the thing with Anna, right? Is that like Anna is just the better fit, but for whatever reason, opposites attract, that whole thing.
I also, at the end of the day, though, like, opposites attract, yes, whatever. Anna has always just been the more supportive option for Seth. Like, I'm sure I'm the only one who thinks this. If season 4 ended with Seth and Summer not working out and him actually having a legitimate relationship with Anna, I'd be like, I'm okay with this.
This is right. This is correct.
Yeah, them sailing off on a boat together, like kissing, is the final shot of season 4. I'd be like, this works out. This makes sense. Summer can be with literally anyone who treats her better than Seth Cohen, as we learn in this season and this episode, where like it is infuriating to watch Seth just not confess to the lying about getting into Brown thing, and is like jumping through 1,001 outrageous hoops to try to like win Summer back while still trying to base it around not confessing to a lie. I was so happy that his plan with the Dean of Admissions just bombed. Like, because I'm sick and tired of also watching Seth Cohen just wing everything with no effort and hope for the best and like somehow succeeding 9 times out of 10. So like watching that whole plan crash and burn around him is great. And I cannot believe that we are 22 episodes into this season before the conversation of maybe just going to another college in New England has been brought up as an alternative option. And like, yes, Seth should go to an art college for story writing. Like, what does he need to go to Brown for? Like, what degree is waiting for him at Brown?
What else was he supposed to do? And honestly, Berkeley, what was he going to do at Berkeley anyway? Like, it makes entire sense for him. And again, like, also the fact that he is like this privileged kid who seems to reject his privilege at every turn.
Yeah, but it's like literally the only things we know about Seth Cohen is pop culture obsessed, loves movies, loves comic books, draws a bunch. Like, obviously, that is the recipe for a kid going to art school. Like, that's not an Ivy League thing unless he thinks he's going to write for the fucking National Lampoon after college. Like, I don't. Yeah, maybe he's trying to get a job at The Simpsons and thinks he has to be at an Ivy League school to pull it off, but like nothing else. Like, to bring it back to Gilmore Girls, it made sense. You know what I mean? Like, it made sense why Rory wanted to go to Ivy League and like what her overall plans were. She wanted to be a great journalist. She wanted to do like all this stuff. Like, that makes sense. Ivy League's not going to make you a great comic book artist. Like, especially like, again, oh my God, I'm like so heated the more I think about it. You are a published comic book creator. Like, all you got to do is get that degree and walk into any building and you will be hired on site for having apparently a comic that is so wildly popular that there are mobile video games based on it.
I know. Oh my God. Remember that when Anna showed it to him on her flip phone? I was like, what?
Yeah, it was definitely, that marked the time. Oh my God.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We're making an ad.
Napping ad.
I hear that Gary Sinise is free.
Oh, okay, great.
He hasn't worked since 2020.
So, what would be the script that we would have Gary Sinise say for the Napping Through Happy Hour podcast?
Listen to this damn show. Damn it.
The Napping Through Happy Hour podcast, brought to you by Geekscape.
Real life, real drama, real time.
I'm Gary Sinise.
That's the ad. That's the ad. That's the ad.
Well, Joe, this episode was nothing if not frustrating. And I guess they really blew a lot of budget having to fly Teresa and Anna back in, because they certainly didn't spend it.
Don't forget the little baby.
And the baby. Because they certainly didn't spend that money on the soundtrack this week.
No,
which
they didn't.
Had just like forgettable song, and terrible dude. We got Whitey's Cigarette that plays when Anne bumps into Seth and they start talking about a plan to win Summer back. 2 Hour Traffic's Leave Me Alone plays when Marissa is at the welcome party with Ryan's buddy. And then Ryan Adams' Nightbirds plays as Marissa gets into bed with a Ryan Adams of her own, Volchek.
Sorry, that was really great. Such a good burn.
I'm happy to provide. I'm stealing one from your playbook. I'm going with Phantom Planet California this week.
I was like, oh my God, I do it one more time, but I also think there was nothing good. There's definitely one next week.
Oh, there's a couple next week. Next week I had like 3 or 4 different moments where I went like, oh my God, about like what song was playing. It was the only thing I enjoyed about next week's episode too. Spoiler alert, listeners. But I did watch something recently that I actually enjoyed.
Okay.
Which is that Shudder, one of my favorite apps, put out Ghost Watch from, I believe it was the late 80s, early 90s. Are you familiar with Ghost Watch at all?
No, not at all.
So Ghost Watch predates Late Night with the Devil, predates WNUF Halloween Special, predates even Blair Witch Project, I think. I could have the time frame wrong. What it is widely considered like the British equivalent to War of the Worlds. It aired as a special news broadcast on Halloween where they were going into a person's haunted house with a paranormal expert, and they were like taking phone calls from the public and everything as like spooky shit happens and it builds. But what's unique about Ghostwatch was that it aired on like BBC One at 8:00 as a special news bulletin, and that B, all of the newscasters in it are the actual newscasters for that BBC News affiliate who are not actors, but they like all just were like, yeah, this would be a fun prank. And it apparently legitimately scared the shit out of a ton of people because it was played so close to the chest on how they presented it. So it's a delightful, weird watch. It might act, WNUF is great for the fake commercials and everything, but that WNUF is like kind of fake the whole time. But in the grand scheme of this, like paranormal shit happening on live television, this might actually be the best one that I've ever watched. So if you have Shudder, I definitely recommend checking it out before it gets pulled down again, because I think they post it like once every couple years for like a month or two.
Oh, probably because BBC is like, nope, got to take that down.
Yeah, putting that right back on BritBox.
Yeah.
How about you, Joe? Anything that just rocked you to your core?
I mean, rocked me to my core. I don't know, but I can tell you something that I'm a little bit obsessed with. So, like, I used to listen to this podcast on Maximum Fun called Pop Rocket.
Okay.
Love Pop Rocket. And one thing, I was also really active in the like Pop Rocket like Facebook group for a long time, because it was just people who loved pop culture. Like they were like a spiritual sister to Las Culturistas in that like, but like the thing about it is that I had like 4 people who are like raconteurs. Like we had like an actual academic of pop culture studies, a writer for Vanity Fair, Guy Branum, and then somebody who is a like publicist to the stars, like actually has like celebrity clients. So they had a lot of opinions and really hot takes on pop culture. Anyway, one thing they would do around like middle of May going into the quote unquote start of the summer season, which is Memorial Day weekend, is they would create a thread of the songs of the summer. And people would just post like songs songs released during like Memorial Day to Labor Day, and like try to figure out what the song of the summer was. Okay. And so ever since then, I've kind of kept my ear out. I'm like, what is going to be the song of the summer? So like last year it was Padam Padam for me. Yeah. This year, I feel like the song of the summer, an early contender, and this is my current pop culture obsession, is the song Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. I have not heard this song yet. And my knowledge of Sabrina Carpenter is that she was one of the stars of Girl Meets World, and that Olivia Rodrigo's boyfriend left Olivia Rodrigo to create the last 2 albums of Olivia Rodrigo songs. Yes. High School Musical, the series, that guy is from too, right? Yes. Joshua Bennett. But isn't he also gay? He might be bi. He might actually be bi. I think I remember that
the last thing I heard about Sabrina Carpenter up until a couple months ago was that she and Joshua both kind of wrote response songs to Olivia Rodrigo that weren't particularly good, and that they mostly got mocked for not being nearly as good as Driver's License or Deja Vu. But lately, I've seen many people talking about how great this Espresso song is, that like Sabrina Carpenter has really like found her sound, is what I'm hearing.
It is very like it is very much a pop song of the current moment. Like it's a little breathy. It's got lyrics that don't quite make sense. Everything is a meme about it. Like, you know, the me espresso thing. You know, I think my favorite line is like, "I'm working late because I'm a singer." I'm just like, I love it.
So wait, let me ask, do people like it because it's good, or is it an ironic like, or is it both?
I think it's both. I think millennials are liking it.
That's a really
ironically.
dumb lyric, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think the beginning of the song starts with, "I can relate to desperation." And I'm just like, I'm
checking this shit out. This song.
You need to. Like, please, after we're done recording for today, go and listen to it, and then text me, and then you need to play it for Barb and tell me what she thinks.
She's probably, well, actually, no, she didn't know who Olivia Rodrigo was until I told her the other day. So.
She didn't know who Olivia Rodrigo was?
Listen, she's got children. All she listens to is fucking...
The Wiggles?
No, it's not that. I've listened to the same 3 songs from SpongeBob SquarePants, like, 30 times this week.
The musical, or
no, just songs from the show.
Okay.
Well, I am excited to dive into Espresso. So thank you for tipping me off. Tipping me off on the Espresso. And you know what? We're giving this season our college try, aren't we? But I'm not. It's not doing us any party favors.
But we know what happens, so we may not get to college.
No, some of us will not.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.